Well, I was pleased with the result. There'll be lots of things in the game that we'll feel like we could have done better, but we go down in the game, we go down a man, and then we go down on the scoreboard. Came in at half time and felt like if we played in the right way and sort of did things better our way, then we felt like we could dominate them. I think we had a lot of possession for 30 minutes, a lot of territory for 30 minutes, just didn't quite get our accuracy right in terms of scoring the points that we needed. And we know that Wales will come back into it if we gave them an opportunity, and they did that. And I was pleased with the way that we responded to being in a bit of a hole, and we dug ourselves out and took the game away from them in that last 20.
Can you just give us an update on Jack Coleman? What's his status at the moment?
He's just a lower back. Yeah, it was just back stiffness, so he was good.
Roots, then Keane.
Dan, what was that like to captain the side, do the triple crown?
Yeah, incredible privilege to be able to lead that bunch of men. There's probably anyone in that team could have led it, and there's a lot of big leaders in the team. So, yeah, it was a huge honour to be given the opportunity to lead the side this week, and a tough one to lead during today. But that's exactly what we talk about all week, is preparing for the moments when things aren't going your way, and how can we can stay during those moments and sort of get ourselves out of it. So, tricky game, and nice to get out on the right side.
What was your team talk like before the game?
We do a lot of our prep during the week. We do all our sort of detail and all our talking early on the week so that we can sort of prepare ourselves. Just mentally over the last few days has been just sort of finding the right balance and finding the right intent. I thought the intent was there, but as Simon said, the accuracy probably slacked a little bit, and we sort of had to regroup at times to make sure we really focus on it. Got better towards the sort of last 30 minutes. Thought some of the lads off the bench had a massive impact. Bundy and James Ryan coming off the bench gave us huge energy. So I think that was a difference.
That's Keane.
Simon, what was your take on the regret?
Listen, those can go either way. Ringer's a brilliant player for us. Everything he does is with intent in terms of the speed at which he works at, and that's probably what's cost him there, is just the speed of his movement off the line, and he just doesn't quite drop enough. And he's certainly far from a dirty player. It's just one of those things that happens. It could have gone either way. It could have been a yellow. There was another incident later in the game which could have gone either way, and it didn't fall in our favour. So these things happened. I was pleased with the way the lads responded to that, even though we conceded at the end of the first half. I think we kind of found our way back into the game when we were down a man, and obviously Bundy, like Dan said, Bundy coming on made a huge impact. When we were up to 15 on 15, then we started to take the game away from them a little bit.
Thanks, Luke.
Simon, before the bunker review system, do you think the Ringrose incident might have been a red card? I mean, if it was against one of your players, might you have seen sense in that kind of sort of decision?
Possibly, but it's not the case now, so it's not a discussion, is it? Because it's the way that we're playing the game at the moment, the bunker system and the 20-minute red card is the rules of the game. So we have to work towards that, and whatever's gone on before is exactly that.
Could you just give a few words on, what Sherratt's done in the space of a week coming into Wales, producing that kind of performance?
Yeah, and I think there's been some really just poor media talk around Wales and the state of the game and etc. We knew that they would be a tough opposition today. We knew that they would play with a type of passion, and you look at some of the tries they scored, even the one that Ellis Mead didn't score in the corner. They have the ability to play well and play with ball in hand, and they made us work really hard for it. So Matt's done a brilliant job. We knew the game would be a lot tougher than maybe some people in the media suggested, and as it is, it panned out that way.
Murray.
Simon, you gave a few kind of younger guys chances today in milestone appearances. How did you feel they generally handled it?
It was good. Yeah, listen, building those experiences for players, playing in the Millennium Stadium, roof closed, third game of a Six Nations where everything's probably against the team you're playing against, and then we come out and get a result like that was that's exactly what we're trying to do all the time, trying to build continuity in selection, but also build that depth and understanding and know-how and experiences that they wouldn't get playing URC rugby or European rugby. So I was really pleased with all the guys that had opportunities today to start the game, guys off the bench. Obviously Jack Boyle, special mention to him making his debut. He's worked really hard to get to this position. He's had a lot of support from family and people around him, but he's been excellent this week. He was excellent last Friday in the Liberty, and I think he showed today why he's got a bright future.
Dan, can I just ask, just around the scrum, there were a few decisions went against you. What was the chat with Chris Stockman?
Yeah, just the dark arts of scrums probably were at play there. We wanted to sort of get a fair contest, and I was just struggling to get nice entries. So I was probably asking him just to make sure that we get clean entries before anything happened, and we had to obviously adapt a little bit, and we probably it took us a few scrums to figure it out. We probably need to be better on that front and be able to fix it after the first. So yeah, it was probably a big sort of turning point in the game. It definitely at the start gave them a lot of momentum, a lot of access. So something that we sorted out, and thankfully, we sort of sorted out towards the end of the game, and we're able to close out the game off the back of it.
Derek, and then you're... Okay, very good. Last couple of questions before we relieve Dan, please, for Dan or Simon. So if you just raise a hand. Rob Cole, I think you had a question. Well done, Murray. Yeah. Go on, yeah.
What did you make of Bundy's impact?
It's good. It's very good. I think having someone like Bundy on the bench with his physicality, he brings a lot of energy to the group, and we felt like it was a good opportunity to change it up again and play Gary and Robbie, but we knew that Bundy would come on at some point to impact the game, and he was brilliant, wasn't he? Like he both sides of the ball, brought great energy, good leadership, and he won some crucial turnovers at times, and I guess part of the squad and the rotation and how you build a squad is you've got guys who come off the bench and understand that they have as important a job as the guys who start, and Bundy showed that today.
Stephen, and then final question with Keane.
Sorry I was late if this has been asked, apologies, but 3 games down and 3 wins. How do you feel now, just going into the final throes of this tournament, 2 games to go?
I think we would certainly have taken this a few weeks back, but I think the mark of this group, the players in particular, they've always want to get better and keep striving to chase down things which maybe other teams can't do, and I think that's something that will continue to drive the team over the next couple of weeks towards France. So certainly getting a result today in a very different circumstances to the one we played in Scotland and the home game against England means that we keep building the experiences and we keep driving the mentality to do things really well our way, and I think that's been that was evident today in like I say, different circumstances.
Keane, last question.
How did you come through injury-wise? Was Matt injured at the end, and you come?
No, I think he had cramp, and there's a couple of guys that kind of we felt like they had cramp, but in terms of any injury worries, as far as I'm aware, there was none. Obviously, there was Jack's back was the only one that felt like he was struggling to open up, and something that happens in games sometimes. I think he fell awkwardly.
Will you be confident Caden will be back for France?
Yeah, he's done really well. He ran yesterday out on the pitch during the captain's run. So yeah, we'll be confident that he's trucking in the right direction, and hopefully we'll see a bit of an improvement as the week goes on.
Okay, thank you very much. If I could